Hello, hello. Sensei Victoria Whitfield here, and this is an accidental masterclass. I want to tell you a story. I was actually talking to a friend of mine, a new friend of mine that I met while networking. Brilliant guy, works in the creative industry, and he had been speaking recently and teaching a class on how to get ready and started for entrepreneurship at a college, right? Just, I guess, like as a night school adjunct sort of thing for the kids there, which is awesome. And he and I have been talking, and he's thinking of being able to, hey there, he's thinking of going into coaching, right? He wants to start a business and going into coaching. Like he's in a coaching program right now himself, and it's like really helping him, and he's really enthusiastic to help other people. And I started to tell him just, I thought I was ranting of like, oh my gosh, this stuff is so annoying. Hey, Jeff, mwah, I love you. Good to see you. Um, that like I thought I was ranting about like all of the annoying things that people say that you're supposed to do. And then he paused for a little while after I said something. He's like, wow, I feel like I just got a free masterclass on how to attract clients online. And I'm sitting on the other end of the phone, like, what? I was just so I guess I kind of take for granted some of the things that I see that work and that don't work. By the way, put hashtag live if you're watching live. I'm quadruple streaming, thanks StreamYard, by the way, to Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube at the same time right now. So if you want to say hi, or put hashtag replay so I know where on earth are you watching so I can say hi. But the basic situation was this. He described that he now that the class that he's teaching is complete, and he's got his first paid speaking gig, which is awesome. He wants to start launching his coaching business. And what he said that set me off on a rant, and I'm sharing this with you just in case this is your situation too, was that he's like, okay, so what I want to do for this week, like we're keeping each other accountable. What I want to do for this week is now that I'm done with the class, um, and now that I did my speaking gig, I want to write like a 16 email sequence to like warm up people to get them to be a client of mine. And I'm like, you want to do this by when? We're talking on Friday. Next Friday is when he wants to do it by. And I'm like, okay, do you have clients? No, no, I don't have any clients yet. I'm like, okay. And he's like, yeah, I don't have a website or anything, but I saw that that's like what you got to do in order to like get clients online. So that's what I want to do. And I don't know, y'all, I'm female, and I said, bro, I'm menstrual right now. I can't. I'm just telling you no. I have like I at that point in time, I did not have bandwidth for tact. Like my filters are down when I'm on my moon time, and all of the brothers and sisters in business in my life know that about me, and it's one of the things they love is that extra layer of honesty. When you said that, I was just like, no. I mean, what do you want? Is the first question that I ask him. And I want to ask you, or you can ask your friend who's in this similar situation of like, I'm going to do a brew of like, I'm going to do all this stuff before I'm able to get clients online. I got to do all this random stuff. I got to have the perfect business card. I got to have the perfect website. I gotta have the perfect business name and the perfect brand colors and all of this stuff. It was for me, it was just a no. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So the first question is, what do you really want? Because, like, are you trying to get attention or are you trying to get paid? Are you trying to get attention or are you trying to get paid? Because this actually came up earlier today in another meeting with some. I'm between meetings with clients right now, just popping on to share what's going on for those of you who are interested to know. Um, but in another client meeting earlier today, we were talking about people who have a whole bunch of websites and have formed businesses and incorporated and stuff and are making no money, but they will hand out their business cards and tell you about their website and stuff. I see this all the time when I'm out networking. Chances are, if you're watching this, you and I have probably met. Jeff, I know you and I have met out networking. So we network a lot, and there's a lot of people who hand out a business card, and that's what they want to be seen handing out a business card. Getting making the money though is not exactly um even what they're ready for. Like when it's time to ask for the sale or close the sale, it gets like a freak out situation of like, well, I can't charge for what I do. Then are you really in a business? Especially if you're a coach, like can whoa, like how are you gonna get clients online? Someone who you just listen to and give them advice, but you're not getting paid, that's not a client. That's not a client. And it's weird in the coaching industry. I don't know. You tell me, comment below if you've seen this too. Go ahead and type that. Well, like have you seen that there or maybe you see it, but obviously that's not you. That's not your problem. We're talking about other people, not you, the viewer. We're talking about all of them over there who are crazy, right? But have you seen this? Like, okay, it's easier to talk about being in business than to actually close it. And then there's all of the crazy marketing advice confusing the growing entrepreneur of what to do in order to Jeff, I love you. Mwah. Um, and so he says, obviously, there's all this crazy marketing advice to help drive lead gen, of course, of like you got to do 16 email sequence in order to get a client online, or you gotta have like a 20-step funnel through this platform and I love ClickFunnels. That's my family. But at the same time, like we were in business was being done before the internet existed. So when he said he's like, I gotta write up my 16 emails, I was just like, from my womb, I was just like, no, 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 no. Now, what do you want? Do you want like a attention or do you want money? What's the thing you want first? And he's like, I want money, Victoria. I want to get paid to coach people. Like that's what I want. But like I googled it, and it said like you got to write up like a warming, a nurture sequence, and all of this. La, 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 la. I know, right? I agree, Jeff. I'm bringing that on camera. I've never done a 16 email sequence to get clients. Bam, same. We see each other. This a hot no. Like, what are you doing? And I don't. So like, what did I tell him though? What did I tell him? I started ranting because I was just like, again, the moon, the sun, and the stars were flowing through my body and I couldn't hold back the honesty of like, no, that's just a waste of time. Like, that's just a waste of time. You just need to like invite people to work with you. You don't need to do all of that. And he's like, well, I don't know. He was so overwhelmed with the options that are out there for attracting clients. And he's like, I don't even know what kind of content to create, but I'm trying to think like, should I be creating content first and then creating this email sequence? And then like, how do the two connect and all this stuff? I'm like, so I'm big on consent because this is a friend of mine. Like, I'm not paying him. He's not paying me. We're just on the phone. I'm sitting barefoot in my backyard, like swinging and flowing, and on the swing. I have a swing in my backyard. And I'm like, well, is it okay if I just tell you maybe what you should do? And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay. So this is what I would recommend. Um, don't make an automation. Don't do any of that. Don't worry about trying to figure, hey Andrea, mwah. Um, don't try to figure out how to do all of the techie like honestly, and I tell my people, whether they're my friends like this guy or my clients, period. So you're not allowed to spend any money in your business until you're making some money. Learn to hustle. And when I mean hustle, I don't mean like freak yourself out and like work super hard. I actually mean, how's about you learn to get paid first before you start spending money on a business that don't even have any clients yet. So, first off, don't there's so many free tools out there. Like, I'm glad I'm half PC, half Mac. I'm like biracial, bilingual. So like the PC side of me is like, oh no, we can do that. The Mac side of me is like, but I want it to be pretty. So we could do both. You could be half PC, half Mac, where the PC is like, oh no, we could do it for free, or we could build it, and it can be pretty. Like you don't have to either or. Ew, right? Oh my gosh. So I'm like, when I was talking to him, I'm like, here's what you want to do. Here's what you want to do. Um, you can have a nurture sequence, but it can come as a copy paste of content that you have created already, and that every bit of content that you create, you put out, always has a call to action to reach out to work with you. And here's how you do that. So you can, if you're comfortable being on camera, do a video. If you're comfortable being on audio, record a sound, right? There's stuff like Clubhouse and all these different places where you can go, right? And or if you're comfortable typing and words and stuff, fine, write up blogs and things. But whatever you're doing, generate a content. You could do it once a week, or you could sit down once a month, like yours truly, and create content for the entire month in one go. So maybe like four bits of content, whatever it is, if it's text, if it's audio, if it's video, whatever. You share something that you believe and you're passionate about, especially what you believe for your people and what you're passionate about for your people. Like something that your people would resonate with. It speaks to where they're at, their issue. I mean, I'm doing that right now and I'm aware of it in this bit of content. You are my people and I love you. I share this because I care about you. And you know that. You know that. So you share what you're passionate about for your people, solving their problems, speaking to their problems, raising awareness of their problems. Like my person is an impact-driven entrepreneur. A lot of impact-driven entrepreneurs want to know how to attract clients online. My friend, who I was talking to, his name starts with an A. He's a real person. He's probably watching this. I love you, brother. So if you're like my friend who's trying to attract clients online, that's my person. I'm going to speak to that person and their issues, right? And share some love, and then never leave the bit of content, whether it's the video, the audio, or the text, the article, blog, whatever you want to call it, post, whatever you're doing, never leave without becoming aware that someone is watching you and may want to draw near to you. Of like, hey, I resonate with what you said, or oh, this was good, or I have more questions, etc. So never leave without an invitation to connect in some way, shape, and form. For him, what I recommend, because doing the free route, is you need to become your own funnel or become your own bot. Now, I've paid thousands of dollars to work with ClickFunnels, Messenger bots, and FlowChat, and all of that stuff. So I know what I'm saying when I say become your own funnel, become your own bot. You don't have to pay all the monies, hashtag all the monies, like I did to learn this. You could just embody the teaching. And then when you are making monies, go ahead on and spend some so that you can automate it, but not until you've embodied the teaching. Like, I think, yeah, I agree. AI makes it so easy, Jeff. It makes it so easy. But you put in a call to action to draw near to you, and you want to put that content out. Try starting off once a week. What I recommended to him is that if you're on camera and you're talking, you're saying, oh, by the way, if you want to learn more about what's holding you back, type worksheet into the chat, and I will follow up with you. So that's important, because that was a call to action, right? You can interrupt yourself while you're on camera or while you're on audio and tell somebody to do something. Like mine right now is, if you want to know what's stopping you from being able to navigate your business decisions, trusting your gut, you need to connect to your compass, your inner compass. Text compass to 66866 to take my assessment, to find out what's holding you back uniquely, right? That is an actual opt-in. That's what the one that's working best for me right now. I have like, I don't know, 20 different opt-ins at least, right? Quizzes, free downloads, tripwires, and stuff like that. The text opt-in, by the way, is the one that's working the best currently for my alignment of my energy. I've been doing this 13 years, so that's why I have like, I don't know, I've lost count of how many ways that I have opt-ins at this point, because I evolve over time. My messaging evolves with me, right? We all do. And so I recommended he have a point where he tells people to drop something into the chat comments below, and that will signal that he has an inbound lead. We want inbound leads, not cold cuts. Thinking like sad cold meat. And I am a meat eater. I'm not vegan anymore. That was years ago. But like, we don't want no cold calling and cold messaging and pretending to be a friend and all this crap. No, we want people who are drawn in by the topic. By the way, as a side note, if you put how to in your headline, that increases click-through rates. I learned that at ClickFunnels, as well as if you put a number of like 7 steps to blah, 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 or how to do da 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 in 11 simple steps, or something. Like, when you put numbers, that's another thing that increases click-through rates. It's just human psychology. So when you have that, you want to make sure that you give people what's the one right next step. And if you want to make a money, it's taking them off of social media, taking them off of the general situation like this, right? I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube right now. Generally, you want to take them off of social media and into your list. So with him, I then explained, like, all right, so you're going to be talking, you're going to be typing, saying, by the way, if you want whatever to work on something, drop the word. For him, he had already made a worksheet for one of the things that he was speaking on. I was like, use that. Like, that could be a freebie. Like, be kind to yourself and just use what's already like adding value you already created. You don't need to make a new thing at all. So when someone says worksheet, then what you're going to do is you're going to look maybe once a day, because you're doing this the free way, right? The free way to attract clients online as soon as possible. So you'll check that post once a day if you like. And then you reach out to the people that say worksheet and say, hey, so and so, thank you so much. Send them a screen cap of what the hell you're talking about, because amnesia on the internet is real, right? So go ahead and send them a screen cap. Thank you so much for requesting worksheet on my thing. What's your email? I'll send you the PDF. As soon as you have their email, now they have left social media and have become a part of your list. This is someone who's raised their hand by saying that, in this example worksheet, on the in the comments of the article or whatever, to let you know that that's what they want. Most people are used to doing that with bots these days, but you're being the bot, right? You're embodying the sense of, oh, respond to people requesting more information, right? And so once you send that to them, talk to them. Or what do they think about it? Or would you like to set up a call so that we could talk some more? And the idea is to get them on the phone and do a gap analysis. If you don't know how to do a gap analysis, here it goes. This is sales 101. I don't know. I'm saying this just like on a whim on a live, because I get this I'm around a lot of new and emerging entrepreneurs, new and emerging coaches, where this is like the question of like, I don't know how to get a client. It's not complicated. You put a piece of content out once a week that tells them to say something, so that like requests your downloadable. In his sense, it was a PDF. Easy peasy. And don't just send it to them in the DM. Let them give you their email so that they have left. You can even do the hand motion. They left social media and came to your list. They left social media and they came to your list. If you've ever read Launch by Jeff Walker, he says you don't have a business online if you don't have a list, period. That's your only asset. There's no other asset in a business in general, let alone an online business. Because, what if YouTube decides to go kaput, or Facebook takes your video down, or LinkedIn decides to like just delete videos after a certain amount of time? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got to be able to continue your business outside of social media. And that's the importance of having a list. So, okay, you take the person and you get them onto your list, right? And invite them to be on a call where you do a gap analysis, children. And it is. It's all let's like, would be amazing if we could teach this in like, high school. It'd be great if our kids coming up would know how to do a gap analysis, where you ask people, a series of questions. One, what's going on? What's the problem? What's the problem you're facing? The gap. One side of the gap. Okay. I hear this is what's your problem. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, great. Other side of the gap. What do you want? So since that's your problem, what do you want? This is what you don't want. What do you want? Like, where do you want to go? And then the person says blah 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 blah. Okay, so I hear what you want is blah 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 blah. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, great. So in summary, what I'm hearing is, this is the problem over here, blah blah blah, and this is what you want, given the fact that that's the problem. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Can I ask you a question? Person's like, oh, yeah, sure. Do you want my help with that? What? What? Do you want my help with that? Do I want your help with that? I thought I was just on the phone dumping my emotions on a random person for free because I saw their thing online. I could get help for bridging the gap between my problem and getting more of what I want, and you can help me? Dun, 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 dun! Yes, I want your help with that. Tell me more. And then you tell them how you can help them and make sure you get used to saying it costs some money because that's what separates those of us who make a money in business consistently is making offers. Whereas those of us who aren't doing this for, like, remember my initial question of what do you want? Do you want attention or do you want a money? And this may be a difficult thing to hear for some people is that, well, if you don't ask, like, do you want my help with that and make it about, well, okay, it's this program and this is how long it is and this is how much it costs. And if you'd like to get started today, it's da, da, da. If you don't make it about the money, then it's actually you just getting attention for, oh, I saved the day. And because I saved the day for this person and I listened to them dump all their crap all over me and I took it, I'm a good person and I can receive attention as a good person. That's bigger than your fear of getting paid. If there's anyone watching this or if you know anyone who this is, that, by the way, make sure that you share this, like, if you haven't yet, with someone who needs to hear this of, like, do you know another coach or service entrepreneur, solopreneur who needs to hear this message? Tag them below, or if you don't want to put them on blast in public, go ahead and just slide this into their DMs like, I love you and you need to hear this. Like, this is the message for you if your friend sent this to you is, we want you to make money. It's okay if you're in business for you to charge for what you do. You are valuable, and your ability to bridge the gap between that person's problem and what they want, that is extremely valuable. Like, you being able to do that is worth money to them. It's them investing in themselves, being able to close the gap, believing in themselves, right? And putting their money where their mouth is rather than just like talking about the problem and about what they want, but never closing the gap between the two. Because, well, this, okay. Thank you. Andrea's like, such a yes. Thank you, sis. Love you too. Amazing. So, what can happen though is that if someone's just talking about the problem and like whining about the problem and whining about what they want, that's more of attention seeking rather than um, being able to make a shift and a change, a real transformation. We want to term that trauma bonding. What I don't want for you, and this is my prayer for what it's worth for all of my sisters and brothers in business who are called to really live with purpose and serve in a big way and have a business backing them up and continuing to live their purpose and serve in a big way. I believe that when you make more money, more good happens in the world because you're serving our community. Like, my prayer for you is that you release the trauma bonding and these cycles of attention seeking just for the sake of attention. Like, you are enough. You are enough already. Your product, your service is enough. If it closes the gap, doesn't matter how simple it is or how much you think everybody knows this stuff. I'm not an expert. Like, I hear that all the time in our industry, but it doesn't matter how much you may think that Everybody knows what you know, and like, why would anyone pay you for that? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I've had to go through that myself of like, there's so many people teaching this stuff. Like, why would anyone pay me? Like, why? If it works, it works. Period. If you can solve the problem, you are worthy of the monies. Right? You're already worthy as a human being. When it comes to business, it's okay for you to charge for what you do. And that's it. So as far as that 16 email sequence he was talking about making and stuff, I'm like, bro, don't do it. Like, go and make one piece of content per week where you invite somebody to reach out to you, right? That for your free thing, whatever it is. In his case, it was a worksheet, right? How to get started for business or something. And then you email that to them. When you have their name and their email, at least, ideally you want name, email, phone number, mailing address, but whatever. It's a list, name and email. This is an internet business, name and email. You can then contact them to go over their results, right? Or to discuss more on this topic. Get them on the phone so that you can serve them and have your offer ready if what they're describing of the problem is something that you solve, and what they're describing of what they want, you can help them get, right? When you see that gap, you're like, oh, the Holy Spirit brought that gap into your awareness so that you can close it for them if they consent to it, right? So get their consent and help them transform their lives. They don't have to live with that gap if they don't want to. But if they keep reinforcing the gap, this is because they're all about that trauma bonding of, oh, life is so hard. Look at the difference between the two. Aren't I important? Attention. Aren't I important? Don't we feel important together with all our unsolved problems? The struggle is real. Let it go. Let it go. And my friend, I remember when I told him, it was just like, no, don't do this crazy email sequence. Just make some content, invite people to reach out, get them on the phone, close them into an offer. He just was really quiet for a little while, and he was like, wow, I feel like I just got a free masterclass on how to attract clients online. And I'm like, I'm just ranting about how annoyed I am with people overcomplicating things. And especially, I'm saying, oh, people overcomplicating things. I mean, me overcomplicating my life over and over again, spending all this money that, you know, whatever it takes to get the lesson. Wow, Victoria, you're expensive. Yeah, it's true. So it is what it is, but my rant turned into an accidental masterclass. And like, this is only the tip of the iceberg. Again, there in my book and my teachings, what I work with my clients on now, I do private clients only. I used to do groups, but it's May 2023 at the current streaming of this video, or wherever you're encountering this content. And for me, I'm focusing on one-on-one in-depth work. And what I've found is that there's usually four things that are stopping people from being able to really trust their gut and make aligned decisions in business faster, right? That's the key to intuition, is it just helps you move faster. It's not some woo-woo thing. It's just you harnessing your instinct for growth and ascension fast. Applying it to business, which is beautiful. When you apply it to business, it helps it grow faster and a more aligned way. And so that's why I created my thing, the Claim Your Inner Compass worksheet. You go to your phone, the text app, you type in 66866 as the phone number. and you type the word compass, and that will opt you in so that you can get the worksheet and work on it there if that speaks to you. Um, the work that I do with people is just keeping people energetically aligned to doing what you already know you need to do anyway. And that's like I throw my healer toolbox and coaching and teaching background and science background, all of the things, right? Um, that's just the work that I do. And if someone sees this or sees me out networking or sees any of my other tons of content out there and resonates with my spirit, they'll be like, ooh, like that's my person. I feel safe working with Victoria. I'm gonna reach out, right? Or I'm gonna fill out the thing to work with her. And my role then, as not only the owner of my business, the leader of my team, I have a virtual team, um, but also as the content creator, is just to then focus on continuing to having an inviting spirit in my content. I will. One of my spirit guides just now said, that's another talk about the difference between content that gets you clients versus content that gets you likes. Like, if you want to make a money, that's a certain way of creating content versus if you want to get attention, that's a different way of making content. It's another thing. I'll make a note of that as soon as I finish this live stream now of I think I'll do that as my next live of being able to tell the difference as a content generator of what to put out there to get clients versus what to put out there just to get attention. Not to say that attention is necessarily a bad thing. It's just, are you answering the question, what do you want? Because if you want money, but you're putting out content that only gets attention, we have a problem. And if you can't tell the difference, we have a problem. If that topic resonates with you, go ahead and tell me in the comments, like, is that something that you want me to do a video on of, like, how to be able to tell the difference between content that gets you paying clients versus content that just gets you attention and has nothing to do with making money? Is that a piece of content that would be supportive of you and our community of impact driven entrepreneurs? Or is there something else that you want to hear from me? I'm here to serve. I'm here to love on you in my free time during my work day. I felt inspired to drop some love into the ether. I am not Chat GPT. I am not a bot. Like, that's my gums. They're real. That's a gap. That's real. This is not AI generated. Not to be against AI, but I don't know. I think there's going to come a point where we have to kind of verify, are we human beings? It's like the deep fakes. All right, let me not get like all sidetracked. I'm here to love. I'm here to serve. If you have a topic that you want me to cover, a question that you want me to answer, go ahead and type it in the comments below, whatever platform you're on. Like, I'm streaming on 3 platforms at once right now. I have no idea where you're watching in from. Like, I see Andrea's on Facebook, Jeff is on LinkedIn, and someone said, "Hey, love," on Facebook, and I received the "Hey, love" from whoever you are. But let me know. And if you have any other questions, I'm happy to speak to. Or if you want to come on camera and us jam, I know Jeff and Andrea both have been on camera with yours truly, talking about all different types of things. Let's come up and have a kiki. Talk about business stuff and rant about bullshit in the coaching industry. That could be its own series, honestly. I love you all so much. I hope you feel it. I hope you see my heart. May you have a peaceful, productive day ahead of you. Um, and remember to make time to love yourself and somebody else so that you don't lose your glow as you grow in life and business. Bye for now. Remember, share this with somebody who needed to hear this message because I know you and I are not the only one who sees this going on in our industry and amongst entrepreneurs. Let's get this out there and stop the madness. Bye.